Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as we talk about maintaining your perennial mums. So let's go. Did you know that you can get mums to come back year after year? Well, you can. And I don't know about you, but I love mums, and I love them especially in the fall time when I don't have a lot of other color in my yard. And more than anything, I'm always looking for ways to save money in my garden. I've made videos before showing you my process for how I overwinter mums, and in case you're interested, I'll link those videos down below. In this garden bed here, I have two patches of nice big perennial mums. I have one right over here and one right behind me. They are a beautiful shade of purple, and I've had these patches here for a few years now, and I'm really looking forward to showing you my process for dividing them in a future video. Today's video is going to focus on how, when, and why I like to cut back or prune back my perennial mums. It is the end of April, it's mid-spring, it is a perfect time for me to be doing this job. The reason why I like to cut back or prune back my perennial mums is to make sure that they're not leggy and they're not flopping over when they're blooming later in the summer. There are actually two great times to do this job. One is right now, it is mid-spring. Another time is just before the 4th of July. If you cut back your mums too late, what will happen is you might not see the blooms later in the summer or earlier in the fall months. In terms of how much I like to cut back my mums, I usually like to cut them back by at least 1/3, if not 1/2 of the plant. That might seem harsh, but trust me, it's better for your plant. You can take those cuttings and you can put them in your compost pile. And that's what I've done in previous years. This year, I'm choosing to take my cuttings and root them. I've never done that before, but it should be easy enough since I've had success rooting other cuttings before. Springtime is a great time to propagate your mums, take the cuttings, and get them to root. Since mums take a long time for their roots to establish in the landscape, I want to take these cuttings, get them rooted so I can get them planted in my landscape well before the late summer or fall months. So let's get started with this project. When it comes to taking cuttings, you want to use some sort of a well-draining potting medium. I like to make my own potting mix. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. You can use whatever you want. Just make sure that it's good at retaining moisture as well as well-draining. I've already filled up a bunch of pots here, and I'm just reusing 3-inch pots that I already have on hand. And I'm going to go ahead and fill these up. And I'm just going to tap them down like that. I'm trying to settle the soil so there are no air gaps in it. But I also don't want to press down too hard because I don't want the roots to be constricted. I want them to be able to grow nicely in this potting mix. And I've filled up a whole bunch of pots here because I'm planning on rooting a lot of different plants during the spring months. And I just want to pre-moisten my potting mix because with the cuttings, I want to make sure that I'm giving them the best chance of survival. I might as well take cuttings from some of these taller pieces up here versus some of the short ones down here. But honestly, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm planning on coming in here and cutting all of this back by at least 1/3, if not 1/2. When it comes to my cutting, I want it to be at least 3 or 4 inches in height. So I'm going to just follow it all the way down, and I'm going to cut above a set of leaves. And that is what the cutting looks like. So see where this leaf is right here? This is what's called a node or a leaf node. You want to make sure you have at least 2 sets of nodes or leaf nodes below soil level. That's where the most amount of hormone is within the plant. That's where the roots are going to get created. So I'm going to go ahead and just strip off or pull off a few sets of these bottom leaves. One thing I want to mention is if you took a very long cutting, you can turn that into 2 or 3 cuttings. It's really up to you how many cuttings you want to turn each piece into. So since we already stripped off the bottom 2 leaves and we have 1 set of leaves here, we have another set of leaves there, I'm going to go ahead and cut right here. I personally like to keep 2 sets of leaves on the top and 2 leaf nodes beneath soil level. And it's up to you how many leaves you want to leave on the top. If you do have a bud or a bloom forming on the top, you want to go ahead and remove that. You don't want the plant to put its energy into creating any sort of flowers. You want it to put its energy into creating roots. And now I'm going to go ahead and stick my cutting. You can use rooting hormone if you want to. You would just dip the bottom part into some sort of rooting hormone of your choice. But honestly, I'm not going to be doing that because I've had a lot of success rooting different plants without rooting hormone. And I'm going to go ahead and just stick my cutting in. And I'm going to stick it in on the edge of the pot here. And I'm going to stick a few cuttings in here. The reason I'm putting this cutting on the edge of the pot is so that the roots don't get intertwined, because I am going to be putting a few more cuttings in here. I'm also doing this job early in the morning. That is really the best time to be doing it, because that's when the plants have the most amount of water inside of them. The cutting is going to be losing water during this process. So since it's full of water during the early morning, it's really the best time to be doing this. Now we're going to take our second piece that we cut off, and again, we're going to strip off the bottom couple of leaves. Another thing you could do, but I'm not going to do, is you could come in here and snip off some of the top leaves. Again, that just minimizes the amount of water that's lost during this whole process. I'm going to place the cutting here. I'm also going to press down. I want to make sure that my cuttings are good and secure. Let's come in here and take another cutting. The whole reason I like to cut above a leaf node when I take my cutting in here is I don't want this long stick staying behind. I want to make it so my plant still looks nice and tidy. So we have a large cutting here again, so we're going to strip off the bottom leaves. And we'll make our cut. I'm going to strip off the bottom leaves. You could use something like a dibber or a pen if you wanted to make a hole, but these actually have a stem that's pretty hard, so I feel comfortable just pressing them right in. And in this case here, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and just snip off some of these top leaves. And I'm going to press down. The plants need a little bit of humidity in order to grow their roots. It's been pretty humid here, so I'm not going to be doing that. But if you did want to do that, you could definitely add some sort of a humidity dome or a bag on top of this. Always label, especially if you're going to be taking cuttings from a lot of different plants of the same kind. I am going to be doing that, so I have purple mums labeled here. I have an area in my shed that's covered, but it brings in filtered light. It's a perfect place for me to be putting all my cuttings. So this is where they'll stay for the next many weeks, and it will take probably 3 weeks to a month before I can see roots coming out from the bottom of the pot. That's a nice large purple mum that I'll be cutting back. And again, the whole purpose of cutting it back is to make sure it doesn't get leggy and flops over during the fall months. And that's another purple mum that I'll be cutting back. Here's a small mum that I planted last fall. I made a video showing you my process for overwintering mums. I'll be taking cuttings from that. I don't remember the color, so I'm going to have to look back at my notes. Here are some mums that I overwintered in my garage last fall. I'll be taking cuttings from those, as well as getting those planted in the landscape. And another pot that I overwintered in my garage. Same thing. I'll be taking cuttings and then getting that planted out. And then I have a whole bunch of yellow perennial mums that are in my front yard. They all need to be cut back, and I also need to dig them up and divide them. I want to move them around in different parts of my yard this year. But you can see how many yellow mums I have. Quite a few. And they go all the way around this flower bed. So remember, chrysanthemums, also known as mums, are often perennial and will come back for you year after year with a little bit of care. Look for tags that say garden mum, hardy mum, or even Belgium mum. Even heirloom mums are perennials for you. It might even say annual on the tag, but it might also say that it's hardy down to your zone. So just keep that in mind. You want to get those mums planted as soon as possible. They take a long time for their roots to establish. When it comes to dividing existing mums in your landscape, you want to do that in the springtime. You want to cut back your mums 1, if not 2 times during the growing season, preferably before the 4th of July. The reason for cutting back your mums is to make sure that they're not flopping over and that they're not leggy when they're blooming. You can take those cuttings, root them, and then create more plants that way. The best time to take the cuttings is in the springtime during the early morning hours. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them down below. And I'd love to know, have you ever overwintered your mums? And if so, what was your process? And what colors do you have in your yard? And until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.